marketing hall. Very important place for our research institute because a lot of data is gathered in these sorting machines. So we have one here for tomato and pepper combined, and then one for cucumber or eggplant. In the past we did these variety trials, and all these different varieties were harvested, and then fruits were measured by hand and whatnot. And now this green box takes per fruit 16 pictures and analyzes the width of the tomato, all these parameters that are interesting. For cucumber, the curves are being measured, the flask form, and all these quality parameters are done automatically, and so it's really important for our variety trials.
The curve in cucumbers important asset.
Yeah, for varieties, companies are often interested in what type of curving. Is it S? Is it and then the angle, of course. And these are traits that we assess. And we will go.
Very challenging.
Yeah. So where we're standing now, this used to be one of our pepper greenhouses, but we adjusted it, so it will be tomato and cucumber, or cucumber in future. This will be the demonstration greenhouse that we will demonstrate the robots. In this new project I mentioned, we will have a demonstration greenhouse where we want to have maximal of the work done by robots. The official opening will be in October, so we are now hurrying to still plant some tomatoes and some cucumber, and there are already some participants interested to showcase their robots or other solutions, so this will be our innovations and robotics corner. On the other side we have a system that is also a nice example of automation. So this is the mobile gully system that I talked about. We can go in. So this crop is not nice now because you can see there is a lot of disease, and that's the purpose of this trial. So we have stimulated an infection of Phytophthora cryptogea, which is the main problem in this cropping system, and we test solutions to combat it, but also test the varieties because there are some tolerances in varieties. So what is nice about this system is that this is of course a small simulation at the growers facility, typically a square of 1 hectare. You have at one side the trays where new plants arrive and are kept. Then they are put on the gutters, and so these are PVC gutters with the nutrient film technique, and so a small water layer running from one side to the other. The gutter is in a slight angle. There is a drip irrigation, just like in tomatoes. So we have planted on these gutters, and they're small. We do it by hand, but growers, they have a robot. It's a robotic arm putting these small plants on the gutters. Then when they are so small, you can see it, the gutters are just next to each other because plants are still small. When they move this way, automatically when they become bigger, the gutters are spaced out more. And so this is very efficient in space use. When you plant lettuce in soil, you plant them at their ultimate spacing. So even when they're small, you take the same space. Of course, lettuce in soil has a lot of problems with soil-borne diseases. Fusarium is a big problem. It's dying out in our region, and then growing out of soil is a solution. But the solution with also new things to tackle, and that's, for instance, this Phytophthora problem that we are working on. When we have growers visiting, they often say, tomato growers for instance, wow, I'm a bit jealous of my neighbor because he has this type of lettuce crop, and it's really nice. He doesn't have a lot of workers. The work is also nice, standing at table height, harvesting, and there is a lot of automation. That's something that is really nice. So that's also why we will be in future, next year probably, in the greenhouse next to this one. We will collaborate with Hortiplan, who is the designer and who sells these gutter systems, and Rieder on a project with tomatoes in a new way of growing also on mobile gutters. It's shorter, of course, yeah. So it will be with Rieder and Hortiplan have on the roof.
And then the roof.
Yeah. And
no, Rieder not.
Rieder not, but the other two are. So and that's that's one of the strategies. Short term is we need robots to go through the plants. The other way around is in more distant future, or maybe also possible. The tomatoes go through a line like in most factories, and every crop handling is done in line, and then they move back to their spot.
What kind of harvesting robots will you use for tomatoes?
Harvesting robot at the moment we don't have planned. That would also require our concrete path to be larger of most of them. So for now we focus on de-leafing, scouting, maybe pollinating. These actions that don't require logistics. But if there is a company interested for harvesting, we will make sure it's fitting and make adaptations.
What are you testing here to control the Phytophthora?
I'm not sure, but I think the new plants are a variety, different varieties, and the system is infected or is contaminated, so they will score how these new varieties are doing. But we have nice trials. We had nice trials the previous 2 years with the addition of Bacillus species spraying or irrigation, but spraying worked best. And we had really black and white differences. So adding something in this really clean system. We often think clean is good. Now we are thinking maybe if you clean it that good, you need to add some microbial life because otherwise, yeah, the pathogens have no competition, have no antagonists. And so we are looking into projects where we give some
We use this areas as a pepper grower, when you steam your slabs.
yeah.
You got the little bit fungus on it, and the roots would not go to the slab anymore because it was like that was also too clean.
Too clean.
But having said that, are you also looking at the DNA to really see if this was the solution, or is it just the practical test? And
No, we have, in this case, we had very nice results with a commercial product, Serenade from Bayer. Then in this project, we have a collaboration with the University of Leuven, and they looked into what is the mode of action, what is happening really. And then one of the things they discovered was it's not the bacteria itself, but the metabolites they produce that are killing off the Phytophthora. And so this gives insights in how we should apply it, how it should be formulated by the company better, and so on. Okay, let's go. Just to show you, this is a typical variety trial. So this is a compartment of 700 square meters where we do variety trials. You can see in the beginning of each row which varieties are tested. And you can also see there are differences in the varieties. Growers, they visit and see with their own eyes the new varieties. Maybe this is a yearly thing we do for the branch organization of Flemish auctions. So in the 90s there were problems with quality. The Germans, they didn't want the tomatoes from Belgium and the Netherlands because they were wasserbombs, so too watery. And there was a crisis also here in Flanders. And in that period, the auctions worked together and said, okay, we need to prevent this in future. From now on, each variety that is growing and that wants to be the grower that wants to be in our Flandria label, these varieties need to be screened thoroughly. And so first the new varieties are selected, and we do these variety trials on semi-practical conditions. Then they go through if they are performing well on productivity, production, but also quality. And so for tomato we do also taste testing, and not here but our partners. And of course firmness and bricks and all these parameters. And so then they go, the next year they can be planted at growers' sites, but not to be sold in this label, but also to visit them and check them. And then in the third year they can be taken up. Of course that's nice because quality is guaranteed. When there is a sudden problem like tomato boundary rose fruit fires and you want the new resistant variety immediately, of course that is more difficult, but of course there was a good reason to then go quicker in this section.
Yeah.
Let's do it also. In pepper we have
100 meters per
recent
minute.
years, but that's probably also not new to you. We have problems with wilting diseases. So mainly in the Netherlands, but also some Flemish growers are affected. There were sudden problems with wilting. Whole greenhouses that would, in the middle of the season, go dead and wilt. And so this is a very important topic that we are working on. Also, we work closely together with all the initiatives in the Netherlands. I think Lina Man is aware of that. She comes here frequently on the subject of wilting in pepper. And one of the things that we are investigating is, of course, what is causing this wilting. And we have found a Fusarium strain, Fusarium oxysporium strain that is in our trials, and so we have isolated it from growers. It's present at different growers' sites, and then we did trials here to see if it's also the cause of the problems, and we saw severe wilting. So we now know which strain is a very aggressive one, but it's still very complex because we also see years or growers where there is wilting and we don't find Fusarium or this strain, and we see
It's not the only reason.
no.
The question is, what's the main reason or the consequence?
Yes. So what is the initial trigger? What is the secondary trigger? Secondary problem. Also, it's also about the farms of the growers, the systems that are disrupted. So they had problems and they did a lot of things to disinfect, to combat it, and now new problems are also arising. But one of the things that was seen immediately in practice was that some substrates made the plants more robust, or more symptoms were less pronounced or later pronounced, and so this year I think in the Netherlands 600 hectares are transitioned from rock wool or perlite to organic substrates. With Lensley, one of the leading companies, I think, and cocoa is also more used now. So this is not a trial on Fusarium, but we want to know what you can do with these new substrates, and that's why we have different substrates in trial, cocoa, but also Lensley is up there, I think. Later on we will see another trial where we are experimenting even with other organic substrates. One of our growers is in collaboration with another institute developing its own substrate made from the compost of his own pepper waste, which of course is tricky. You need to be sure it's good. The composting is good, and you don't take diseases to the next season. But so these are all topics that we are now working on. Okay. System as an umbrella system. So Flanders, most growers still use this system, where the slabs are on gutters, but even sometimes on the ground level. The wire of jute, so it's compostable, but it's because it's only to get on the 2 meter height. Then the head is taken out of the plant, and you get two shoots that are hanging in these braces. And so it's a system with less labor and that you can do from on the ground, basically. This crop you need to do 3 times a year. So planting, you see, this is you just plant next to the same on the same slab. You plant next to the previous one. So here 3 times a year. When you go high wire like tomato, then you can have 2 crops in a year, and so you can have a longer cropping. There are benefits and also disadvantages, because cleaning or starting again 3 times is also good when you have a virus problem. And in cucumber we have CGMV, and so a virus that is already a long time a problem. But making a clean slate is something that is desirable. But for innovation, this cropping system is very hard, because it's like a jungle. Now it's still clean, but you don't leaf, and it's a jungle. So for robotics, it's a nightmare. It's almost not possible. Also, lighting crops are always high wire. There is more potential for innovation in high wire, but it's still the main system in Flanders.
Yes.
It's also a cleaning period, I see, and so the greenhouse is not completely full. You see also, besides lettuce, some gutters with other crops. That's something that we are preliminary testing. Now it's mainly lettuce that the growers are growing on this system. Lettuce that is mainly butterhead or 3-in-1, very known in the supermarket. And some growers are growing pak soy on this system, growing in interest. And so we are also looking at other crops. Things that you can see here is celery, some cabbage, and fennel. And fennel is doing really nice, but the problem with fennel and celery is the falling over. And so we are now thinking about creative solutions for support, and also Hortiplan is working on that. So, okay, nice.
Compartments here in the cruise station. You can imagine that the compartments are pretty narrow. Also, there are the splitted pipes, which is not, I would say, not really common in the, I would say, production greenhouses. So we need to tackle it in multiple fields about the navigation and scanning speed, for instance, and safety. I will show you, because right now in that case and in this status, we are using the manual driving app, which is created with a cooperation from researchers from Prusation, but generally we are more relying on the autonomous movement for greenhouses. But because there is the east compartment environment, and we want to make a. We want to give a researcher some tool which can be possible to use not only in cucumbers, but they can use this tool also in the peppers or tomatoes for their research. So we created, I would say, this kind of the stuff. So. Yeah, it's I got the prepared, I would say, scenario. Little bit speed up our demo, and as you can see, the robot is approach the row, autonomously go into whole row on the, I would say, edge of the row, which is technically possible. Then robot goes back. As you can see, we are using the lighting. We want to create some uniform conditions for later data processing.
So does that mean that you have same conditions during day and night?
Yeah. We are trying to make this uniform conditions. Then you can also see the tower, which can be adjusted. I can show you how we can change the level of the tower. For instance, this is a quite early stage of props, so we don't need to use the high tower. We are just using this accessory. So we are also able to
regular greenhouse driving faster back. Here is because the plants are young, so we don't put it full speed, but it's around 10 kilometers per hour.
These lines are just only try to create autonomous movement for the robot.
You don't use GPS or RTK?
We are currently working on this. This is the safety. As you can see, there is some worker, the robot stops, or I can show you once again, quite immediately. So if there will be some trolley or basket, will be completely safe.
This one is still on the tapes, because we go like this.
So it's quite collaborative.
So now you're using what is it, 6 cameras?
Yeah.
Or 12?
For right now, we are using only these cameras on this. I would say outside the tower. Also, we got like an inside tower. I can show you how high it is. Yeah.
There was a question about the navigation. This robot was installed here in February, and so it doesn't have implemented yet GPS RTK. So it's on the robots that will be new. And also here there is a, because of its research station, there is different small compartments. So there is way more manual driving than it would be in the regular greenhouse.
Yeah. Currently, like Maciej said, we are working on RTK, and there is no doubts that the RTK can be really useful in a concrete space. So the concrete space will be really useful for navigation. Also, we will be not relying on the lines, but we will adjust the chassis of the robot. On the chassis there will be cameras on the side, so robot doesn't need any lines. He can see the rows based on the pipes, just from the side view.
But then the navigation would be mostly used for the in-row localization, or it would be also the GPS
It will be a
RTK?
mix of information. You have to see that from more bigger perspective. You have to combine machine vision based navigation, also RTK navigation, and for example also the LiDAR data.
Yeah.
So it will be mix of all technologies to create really solid navigation. Yeah.
Then they turn the wheel, it moves like this,
Yeah.
and then the camera sees the next,
We'll see the pipes.
and then it no turn.
Then, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In this scenario, like with these plans here, it would disable the lidar because this is the scenario that how it wouldn't be in a production greenhouse. So this is why it's here on manual. But we have the video where we will show you the autonomous operation during the lunchtime. It's 50 minutes, so we can. It's without the cut, so
for lunchtime.
yeah. It's actually you can just nice to stare into something. So we will show you that.
Also, the RTK will be really useful for identification of the rows because we will not rely on some kind of the tags. Because before the robot will be start operating, we can create the configure map of the greenhouse, and then we are just see that the GPS is really narrow to this row, so this will be number, for example, 14 in some kind of compartment. Then. Yeah, the lidar is, I would say, adjusted for these conditions, and still we are in a cooperation with a researcher from Proof Station to improve this system to their needs, that they will be able to use this robot also in another compartment.
Can you make it switch rows?
Right now?
If it's possible.
Yeah, but I will use the manual.
Sure.
So.
There is another thing a little bit challenging in Proof Station. It's the rail pipes, because they don't have they are not U-shaped.
Yeah.
And in a normal greenhouse, even if there is slight, let's say, deviation of the angle, the black wheels, they are like in harvesting carts.
Yeah.
They would correct for it because it will guide it in. But here, if you would drive a little bit sideways, one part of the robot could fall down.
Yeah.
So it's this is one specific for here.
It's moving rows. It doesn't have a sensor on the side, does it? If there's someone standing on the side.
The new version of the lidar, yeah, right now no. Now it's having field of view like this, roughly. But for the new robots, it won't be lidar, but it will be stereo camera like here, and it will look on the side. So if it's gonna be coming out of the row, it will also recognize objects coming. We didn't need it, or we thought we don't need it. But if we want RTK-based navigation, we also need to put more cameras to have some visual data.
I'm really curious how that RTK navigation would look like as implementation on your side.
Yeah, we will, and also.
Actually, I was also looking because navigation. I was also looking for, Galileo.
Yeah.
The European Space Agency. I was also looking up with them if we can use that for navigation in greenhouses, because that's a huge problem, especially with the honest time. I don't know if you know.
Honest, I heard about the project.
Yes.
Yeah.
The honest time, we were also in there, and that time also we were exploring navigation with RTK also, but also with Galileo.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I'm really curious how that implementation would work.
So now you see it's going in, and
It's not aligned.
it's not aligned because normally it's done by a stereo camera, and there is more space behind. So now it's all the manual work,
Yeah, it moves
But the next models are already running in the greenhouse, or it's still in development?
We have locations that are running already in the greenhouse. I will show you. We have
Testing your pilot skills, no pressure.
No, this is a good one.
I'm not a really good driver because I'm not using.
But
How heavy is it?
around 240 kilo-ish.
It's not that much.
Yeah. It's also because it's running on the battery, the heavier it is, the higher capacity it would need.
Where's your battery loading station actually here?
Yeah, it's
So
actually the black box outside the compartment, and this is like a wireless one. but the robot.
We have induction charging,
Yeah.
and the induction plate we will place it wherever grower wants. But on default, it's put here into this spot, so the robot is parked like a regular cart, and it's being charged there. It's also in a design what is the layout of the greenhouse. We can put multiple of them, so the robot can doesn't need to spend time driving to the charger. But for this application here, we have a wired charging.
Yeah.
And will this be the expected operational speed?
Oh, it's much faster. This is just only for, I would say, pulsation speed, because you can imagine that there is really big leaves in a later stage, and we got the discussion with the people from pulsation that they don't want to damage the plants, so this is our decided speed. But for example, tomatoes or another more production greenhouses, the speed is much higher. It's like about 5 meters per second.
How much is it now?
It's I would say 2.5. But it's a effort, you know.
I would say this maybe a bit faster it feels, because if you would walk next to it.
Because 5 meters per second is like walking speed, right?
So now, yeah, so things like this doesn't help robotics, but also some things in the greenhouse might need to be adjusted, you know.
What are those cameras?
These cameras was originally used for